What if we could unlock the ocean's secrets, look into the future, knowing where fish are spawning, predicting future migration, and ensure sustainable management for fisheries and aquaculture in years to come? We believe this idea is not just a dream, and within the next 5 minutes, we're confident that you'll agree. We are Fahim, Sigurd, and Hanna, and we will explore how we can secure reliable and sufficient data for mapping fish spawning areas in the coast of Norway.
So, when picking our case, we wanted to find a problem that unified both the fishing industry and aquaculture industry. So, we went around to a bunch of experts on the topics and exhibitors and asked them questions. Now, one thing that we noticed was that there was a big gap in what we know about the spawning areas of fish. Now, we do know something, but it's quite limited and only to a few species. And the knowledge that we do have and the data that we do have merely comes from interviews with fishermen. Now, this traditional method can be good, but it can also be biased and inconsistent. So our goal is to change this. We want to go digital. We want to change how we get this information and make it more use of technology and also digitalization.
So why is it important? It's important to understand about the fishing areas because this gives us better insight about how the fish population will evolve over time. Also, this gives us the opportunity to efficiently manage the fisheries with better regulations and more accurate quotas. This also helps the aquaculture industry. Right now, aquaculture companies must do an extensive research before selecting their project sites. What if like the project site becomes an important spawning area the next day? They have to abandon the project. So having an extensive spawning area map cuts down the cost significantly and also ensure responsible area planning.
Now, to proceed with our vision, we want to streamline existing data that's already out there. Data from different maps and different companies and get it into one big data center. Now, for instance, we can incorporate marine geological surveys to get better understanding of the coastline of Norway. And with that, we can get a solid foundation to build for further mapping. Now, behold our very own innovative prototype. This is a bow. We found this all over the coast, and we want to repurpose these so that they can collect data for us. For instance, we want to have eco sounders, IoT signals, and camera traps, as well as eDNA sampling. Now, this will be a unified, non-invasive system to collect data. For instance, the eDNA sampler will take samples from the ocean, and we will unify it and also find out what lies ahead and what is in the ocean by, for instance, taking water quality sensors, which will take tests around the water to see what lies ahead and how will these areas change over time. This will also help us with the weather station as well. So how it will work is we have a lot of sensors. These will go through the data transmission and to our data center. Now the eDNA samples will be tested in a lab and also unified and put into the data center.
So all these data that we are collecting will be transmitted to the satellite and then sent to our data center for further analysis and mapping. We are also having solar panels as backup electricity and also having onboard storage. What if the communication fails? With all this, the final result will be an interactive map which will help us to predict the fishing population, their future spawning areas, and the timing of these events.
Our solution can make a difference. Within sustainable fishing, accurate data can help prevent overfishing and also ensure that we have protected areas where there are fish spawning areas. Within aquaculture, this will help reduce costs and it will be easier to meet regulations as we will ensure better site selection in the future. And for policymakers, this is also benefited because better data will lead to better regulations and better enforcement. And our system is scalable, which means it can be used in different regions and for various species. Overall, our goal is to make one unified database where we can have all this data stored to maintain a sustainable fisheries and aquaculture industry. Our approach brings sustainable practices within reach. And this solution is not just about data. It's also about making sure that there's plenty of fish in the sea for generations to come. Thank you.